How is everybody? I hope everyone can hear me okay. Just kind of waiting to see how the sound comes off. I'm doing this from an unusual source tonight, an unusual place. Um, Kind of out of the norm for me, but I wanted to try something new, so I figured I come outside and do a little live session from the outdoors, and wanted to, as usual, share my heart. A lot more. It's a lot different being in the elements. So yeah, I don't know what everything sounds like. I can't hear myself. Uh, can't hear the music. Excuse me. But I know I hear all the dogs barking. That's for sure. So yeah. Um, I hope everybody's doing all right tonight. Let me know if you can hear me. The sound is okay, or I know the video quality is not going to be the greatest again because I'm outside. I'm not inside the house. I'm just going to give it a few minutes. So you're rewatching this back. You can fast forward a little bit if you want to, but as of right now, you're gonna kind of have to deal with this. Hopefully, a few more people will kind of come on here, but yeah, you come on, just say hello. Um, Let me know you're watching. Let me know where you're watching from. Uh, all of the above. And again, let me know if you can hear me too, because again, like I said, I can't. I don't know. I can't hear my stream or anything. So I know the brightness isn't as great either. What a time we are in. What a season we are in. Uh, Expectations are high. You know, great things. Lots of things I could share about what the Lord's been doing, and I do want to kind of shed some light on that, on about those things. Um, Kind of maybe give a little bit of maybe give a little bit of um um kind of like a current where we are. I know the last week came on here and had my brother Jeff on here, and we talked about certain things and generalities and things like that. But you know, right now where I'm at, currently physically, I'm in our little makeshift sukkah. If you don't know what a sukkah is a Hebrew for a tent or temporary dwelling, temporary um, temporary hut or a booth. Some in some parts of Scripture, you dwell in booths for 7 days. But that's kind of where I'm at the literally at the moment, spending some time out here um, with the Lord. Feast of Tabernacles, Ricky, what's up, bro? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's right. So, yeah, that's kind of what I'm doing at the moment. And I do apologize if you can hear my dogs yapping. A little different. I can hear all the birds. I can hear all the crickets. Uh, it's it's great to be able to be out here um, on purpose and for this season, for this time, for this purpose. You know, Feast of Tabernacles. All the appointed times are just amazingly enough. The more I learn and the more I grow in it, the more I begin to try to understand it and practically apply, have practical application of these things in my life. Um, you know, in my home, in my walk, and trying to understand certain things and walk it out in practicality. There can be a lot of outside noise and a lot of outside um, influence that can sound kind of sort of um, start to add to the fuzziness and sometimes we have to just block things like that out and be able to follow what the Lord is telling us to do. And when we do those things, He makes Himself known to us. And that's kind of why I'm doing the things that I'm doing now, is getting a better understanding and practical application of what it means to really, the best I can really walk in the faith, or have a practical example on, there's a reason why He said to do these things and to practice these things, and to for these reasons, and um, for remembrances, and for the hope of the return of our Messiah, man. And these things right here, yearly appointed times. Of course, we have the weekly appointed time. That is something that we, um, as a people, a set apart people, following um, the Lord, following our Messiah. Um, he did it right. He did it as the perfect example that we cannot be, no matter how hard we try. But I believe that the first and the largest point in that is that we're trying, and we're practicing righteousness. And hey, cuz, how you doing, Randy? I love you. So yeah, again, I know I said this earlier, but not a lot of people were on with me here. But um, we practice now because we will keep them with Messiah. That's right. That's right, Sister Wani. And that's the purpose. It's not to gain any righteousness of our own, or uh, it's not to glorify ourselves, but it is to get to know our Father. It is to get to know His appointed seasons and times, so that we are not caught off guard with all the distractions this world has to offer, and all the different things that there is out there for us to choose from. Um, but when He said these are my set apart times, these are my set apart feasts, these are my um, these are mine, and my people who love me, they will guard these things, and they will keep these things as a part of their own. It's like taking it personal. And I believe that's what walking in the faith is it's not second hand or third hand, but it should be personal. We should take it personal with our relationship with the Lord, and in practical application. And I believe that there is practical application. There's just a whole lot of extra other added things um, that can cloud what that looks like. But I believe the Lord is helping us to be able to come back to the foundations and um, come back to the important things that He says that are important to Him. You know, if we say that we love Him and but we don't keep His commandments, you know, that how can we do that? And I think it's a lot harder to do because everybody's got an opinion and everybody's got an interpretation and everybody's got a this and a that and a feeling and an emotion and a a preference and all these different things. But our Creator does, and He desires for us to know Him, and so that he can know us deeper. There's these times in these seasons that we're trying to practice and trying to walk out are they're for Him. They're not for us. That you have one of the there's scripture that points to the Sabbaths, plural, not just a weekly Sabbath or a weekly set apart time or set apart day. But there are yearly set apart gatherings and set apart times and set apart Sabbaths that He said, these are my things, and this is how you will get to know me. As we know that He is our bridegroom, and Messiah is the way to understand these things, and through our faith in Him, and through our desire to know Him deeper. I might have to keep that light on. Hey, when y'all go back inside, keep that light on, because now I think they can see my face a little bit better. I'm live. Yeah. Zane Vaughn the Goat said hi, everybody. And TJ Vaughn the Goat said, hey, no, not the goat. But it's better. It's probably better that you're not a goat anyway. I'm just saying. But yeah, so I want to read some scripture. Um, I want to kind of point out exactly where it is that I am right now, and possibly, um, what the plan is moving forward. And I don't really have a large plan. I know Yah does. I know he's got a bigger plan. Um, uh, but nonetheless, my desire is to try and to walk in his ways, to walk in his paths, and his ways are straight. His paths are right. Um, his man. There's so much. Lord have mercy. Lord help me. Give me 1 second right here. And like, hey, give me an amen or something. Y'all, don't be too quiet. I don't mind conversating with y'all while I'm on here. I don't want to just be the guy that's just talking all the time. So I don't mind having conversation with you all. Yeah, you know what? I just think I might just have to keep my phone open because it'll provide a little bit brighter light to my face here. All right. Yeah, there we go. Hope that's better. See, let's just see my house. So you know what? It's not gonna work because I'm probably gonna. I can use this one. That's fine. I'll use this app. So what am I doing right now? Uh, we've put up this temporary booth, this little sukkah. It's not much. It's a canopy. That I bought it at Walmart or Dick's or something. I think it was Walmart. Something I take to the beach with me, and we set it up out here. Put some lights up around it. Put up some makeshift walls. Nothing big, nothing fancy, nothing crazy. But I want to listen, try to do my best in this practical application of the walk. But for 7 days, let's read it. There's a couple different places, man, um, that it lays it out for us. See if I can pull it up here. Get it out. Dog is doing something. I don't remember what there. All right. As I'm learning, and growing, I got lots of leaven I've got to get out. You know what I'm saying? So trying to um trying to understand even what leaven means according to the Lord is difficult enough as it is. However, you know, um I know He provides us the examples, and I know He provides us the way. Um, but yeah, I think we're gonna start off in. I'm gonna read this in um, in Leviticus, but before I do that, I just I just wanted to kind of say this, like um, there's so many things that it's easy for us as believers to um, we're so susceptible to claiming very, very good things for ourselves. And um one thing that we know of, man, for sure, is that as believers we know that we're children of the Most High. We know we're children of God, because we believe in Messiah, because we believe in Jesus Christ, Yeshua Hamashiach, um, the the propitiation for our sins, our Savior, our soon-to-be bridegroom. And we it's like we take ownership, I guess, if you want to say it. We uh, we take a personal accountability for that. We It's easy for us to say these things and be able to you know it's our salvation is not of our own doing. Our salvation is not of our own. um, there's nothing we can do to earn anything according to our salvation. Our trust is in the Lord, and um, in the price that He paid for our sin, for our missing the mark, for our falling short of His glory. And we're awaiting the day that our redemption is complete. The Scripture says that He was faithful. He is faithful oh my God. He who is faithful that he who has begun the work in us is faithful to complete it. And we do know that he's begun a work in us, and he's continuing to work out and weed out and sift out the um, the unnecessary things. And you know it's easy for us to claim being a child of God. It's easy for us to say I'm part of the bride of Christ, and um I'm part of the house of God. And we even like we call our assemblies or our churches, the house of the Lord, the house of God, the house, being in the house. And we it's I think we know that it's the house of God, as a general assembly, but I think that we're missing a few different things when it comes to how the Lord of the house, um, our head, Messiah, the example that he gave us and how his house is run. I think that we've gone away. Um, um, the things have been forgotten, but they're not gone. They're not. Um, it's just been forgotten, and he wants us to remember. I don't think it's any different for us than it was for the children of Israel. You know, if technically today, we as believers, we are part of the children of Israel. As Paul said it, we've been grafted in. Hey, Sharon, we've been grafted in, as Paul put it. We've been grafted into the house as once a wild olive tree. We've been grafted in, because the original branch was broke off, and because that original branch was broke off, it gave room for us to be able to come in, and we've become part of the original tree, and he is the tree of life. you know Tina, I'm trying to learn more and more about the biblical feast. So am I. So am I. Again, like I said, just it's primarily because I still believe it's even more valid for us today. um because we have the opportunity, man. We have hindsight. They always say that this is something that we say even in today's society. Hindsight's 2020. We have hindsight. Um, they didn't, unfortunately for those who came before us, their hindsight was only limited to what they had. Now that's one thing I've been trying to read. And you know, um, you are Israel. They migrated over the Caucasus Mountains, aka Caucasian. Yeah, you know, I, Olivia, thank you. Appreciate that. I think we're all. If you believe in Messiah and you place your faith in Him and you place your trust in Him, and you've made a choice to surrender your life to Him, and you've made a claim to say, you know what, I'm tired of my past. I'm tired of the things that I've done. I'm tired of living in sin. I'm tired of all these different things. I'm at the end of myself, and I choose to follow the Lord. Um, that's not an easy decision to make sometimes, and sometimes it seems like it is easy. You know, I'm fully convinced that as we go and as we grow, especially in the time that we're in now, I know the He's just revealing things to His body that's saying, hey, I got some things I want to remind you of. And it's like it's hard for us to remember something that we don't know. But fortunately for us, what was written is still just as important today as it was when it was first written. Scripture written says, the Lord said, "I am the same yesterday, today, and forever." It was reiterated in the Brit Hadashah, the New Testament. It was reiterated saying, He is the same yesterday, today, and forever. He's not changed. Chastisement. Olivia from YouTube says chastisement. Oh no, right? For real. I've dealt with a lot of chastisement, not understanding. Same, same. And I think that's part of the journey, is that knowing that the chastisement is for good. It is for good, because it weeds out. It sifts us, and that's part of the crushing and the sifting, is realizing, I may not have all the right answers, but it's okay. You know, what was that? Okay, my bad. It's okay to not have all the answers. His word does lead and guide us into all truth. That's a promise, and I believe that's where we are. But so if we want to know Him, I believe there's an opportunity that we can say, okay, all right, Lord, help me to see the leaven that's within me, or the things that separate me from You. There is good leaven and there is bad leaven. You know, um, Unfortunately for us today, we've got more of the hey baby, late to the live. That's okay. I know you were busy. You was doing things. You know, um, so I don't want to have to feel like I'm walking on eggshells or beating around the bush or dancing around, the point of things because hey Michael, what's up, bro? Because I think it is important to be able to say, hey, this is what it is and this is what we're doing, and it's not to cast any type of condemnation or any type of judgment. I want to learn and I want to grow in the faith and I want to understand. And guess what? There is a better way, and it's His. It is His way. It's not ours. Um, you know, yeah, we all have leaven, right? Um, and I think that every year when that particular feast comes around, that's to remind us that we all have leaven, and that we're probably going to continue to have leaven until we are out of this body, until we have received our new body. Um, that the end of this life, it is coming. We do have an end date, even though we might not know when exactly that date is. It is temporary, but it is not meaningless. It's futile in that it is temporary, but it is not futile in that it is pointless. Something I'm learning too. Um, Things have become muddied up over centuries and centuries and centuries of culture differences and language differences and perspective differences and walk differences and all kinds of differences, and it's I believe that he's leading us back to a place to which he's going to reestablish to his people the set apartness that he was desiring that his people, his chosen people from the bloodline of Abraham, that he desired for them to follow and to live by, with both blessing and cursing. It's a lot easier for us today to we just want all the blessings, because it feels good, because it is good. But you know what? Like Olivia said, the chastisement. God chastens those that he loves. And a lot of times for us, man, I'm telling you, it's a lot more spiritual and a lot more emotional, a lot more mental chastisement. Because if I'm being honest, man, the most of us, I can't speak for everybody, but man, we sure do got it good when I can sit out here in this little temporary dwelling place. I'm starting to get a little cold. Um, I'm starting to realize that the little palmetto branches that I've put up over here, they're starting to wither. You know, um, we did it. We put it up this past Shabbat morning. What did I put it up? I think I first set it up. Um, excuse me, Friday evening before Shabbat. I just kind of set it up, and then my wife and I started decorating it. I went and got some palmetto leaves and I took them off and I started putting them up in here. Um, Starting to realize, man, that it's interesting. The more that you see this, this feast is 7 days. How about I read this real quick? I'm gonna read the first part, and then I'm just gonna go straight up to. I'm just gonna go straight to where we are right now. I think it's relevant. So, um, lots of conjecture here and there. But again, I'm still learning. I'm not gonna sit here and claim that I have all the answers. Okay, but I'm gonna try. I'm gonna attempt to find out. I'm gonna attempt to see and to understand His ways, His way. If that makes sense. So, Leviticus 23. All right, chapter 1. I'm sorry. Let's try that again. Leviticus chapter 23, verse 1. Apologize. This is what it says. Now, I'm reading from the BSB. I can read it from the New King James. I can read it from the Scriptures 2009. I can read it. But I'm going to read it in this BSB, the Berean Standard. So here it goes. And the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, these are my appointed feasts, the feasts of the Lord that you are to proclaim as sacred assemblies." So, verse 2, speak to the Israelites and say to them, these are my appointed feasts of the Lord that you are to proclaim as sacred assemblies. Now, this is in Leviticus 23. There's also some that are laid. There are also laid out in Exodus, and I also believe in Deuteronomy. Um, so the very next one, which is the very first one that he proclaims as um, a Sabbath or a sacred assembly, right? Is this for 6 days, verse 3, for 6 days work may be done, but the seventh day is a Sabbath of complete rest, a day of sacred assembly. You must not do any work. Wherever you live, it is a Sabbath to the Lord. You go on down the rest of the chapter, it outlines the yearly feasts. So first you have um, the one that happens every week. You got one that happens every single week, and that's the Sabbath or Shabbat. Um, that is the seventh day of the week. And the more you begin to study, you'll see that the day begins at sundown and it ends sundown the following day, which the sundown begins the day. Okay. Um, in Scripture, according to the Lord's according to His Word. So I'm gonna go down to kind of right where we are, sort of now. We're at the what is called or known as. It's not scripturally called this, but we kind of know it and identify it as all the fall appointed times, or in Hebrew is also known as the word moed, or moedim. Moedim is plural for um, appointed time, so appointed times. So if you want to say these are my appointed times, these are my moedim, these are my things, and he says, you know, on these particular days of this particular month, this is what the feast will be for you. It'll be a remembrance, so on and so forth. So um, we are in coming to we're right about at the middle, I guess you could say, for the day that we've chosen to do it based on the sighting of the moon, the crescent moon. The beginning of the fall appointed times is the Feast of Trumpets. This is the beginning of the fall Moedim, and this is where we are right now. We've passed the Feast of Trumpets. I'll read through that because toward the end of the yearly feasts is where we currently are sitting in this moment. So I'm going to read from the Feast of Trumpets. And the Lord also said to Moses, verse 23, so Leviticus 23:23. The Lord also said to Moses, speak to the Israelites and say, on the first day of the seventh month, on the first day of the seventh month, you are to have a day of rest, a sacred assembly announced by trumpet blast. You must not do any regular work, but you are to present an offering made by fire to the Lord. Verse 26, and again the Lord said to Moses, the 10th day of this month is the Day of Atonement. You shall hold a sacred assembly and humble yourselves, and present an offering made by fire to the Lord. On this day you are to do no any work. You are not to do any work, for it is the Day of Atonement, when atonement is made for you before the Lord your God. If anyone does not humble himself on this day, he must be cut off from his people. I will destroy from among his people anyone who does any work on this day. You're not to do any work at all. This is a permanent statute for the generations to come wherever you live. It will be a Sabbath of complete rest for you. And this is like, some of this stuff is so repetitive. Like, I mean, he's really trying to make a point. You know what I'm saying? He's really kind of laying it out there. So I don't know if I get that from him or not. I just like to go in circles all the time. You know what I mean? I don't know. But, so let's see, you're not doing wherever you live. Again, this is wherever you live, right? It will be a Sabbath of complete rest for you, and you shall humble yourselves. He's letting them know again. From the evening of the ninth day, this is verse 32, Come to the end of verse 32. From the evening of the 9th day of the month until the following evening, you are to keep your Sabbath. So here you go. From the evening of the 9th day of the month until the following evening, you are to keep your Sabbath. So again, here you have an instance where he literally says evening to evening is the day, is the day, is the day. Okay. Feast of Tabernacles. This is where we are right now. Okay. When the fall appointed times were out of beginning to begin, there's been some people that have done this for a very long time. A fellowship that I've been following with for a little while, and they've been doing this for many years, and through lots of study, through lots of things, and you can get really ticky tacky with all that stuff, and that's not the point. Okay, that's not the point. But we want to try to do our best to do our best, right? We want to try our best to do our best in honoring Him in these times. So here we are now, the Feast of Tabernacles. We had the Feast of Trumpets, the Day of Trumpets. There was 10 days between the Day of Trumpets and the Day of Atonement, and then there was 5 days from the Day of Atonement to when the Feast of Tabernacles begins. So now here we are. If we wanted to count the day that we're in, Friday would be the first day, Saturday, Sabbath, right? So Friday evening, Saturday is 1, Sunday is day 2, Monday we're in day 3. We're in day 3 of the feast. Trying to count these things and look for the moon sightings. The moon sightings tell us the times. Sighting of the first moon. Some people say it's on the sighting of no moon. Some people say it's on sighting of the shadowed moon. There's all kinds of conjecture on different things, but I don't think we're really going to know until everything's all said and done, at the end. But the thing is that we're trying. We're trying to do our best, and that's what he said. Whoever practices these commandments and teaches others to do likewise will be called great in the kingdom. But I don't know about you, but I want to be called great in the kingdom. I don't care to be called great here. Here don't make no, I don't care, make no, never mind, don't matter to me, not one bit, whether or not I am called great right here. What matters to me is if he calls me great in the kingdom. I want to hear well done. Like the Shema says, hear and do, and incline your ear so that you can do. Did my music stop playing? Can y'all hear that? How is that? Let me know if you can hear that, because I can't hear it. I don't know if it's there. I think my music stopped playing. If it's too loud, you tell me too. You know what I mean? But if you can hear that, give me a thumbs up in the chat so I can see it, because I'm not even paying attention. I can't hear it. I'm in an environment where it makes it a little bit more difficult, so I do apologize. But give me a little thumbs up in the chat if you can hear that music. It sounds all right to you. I want to continue on though. Let me know. So here we go. Feast of Tabernacles, Leviticus 23:33. And the Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the children of Israel, speak to the Israelites, children of Israel, and say, on the 15th day of the 7th month, the Feast of Tabernacles to the Lord begins, and it continues for 7 days." It continues for 7 days. On the first day there shall be a sacred assembly. You must not do any regular work. For 7 days you are to present an offering made by fire to the Lord. On the 8th day you are to hold a sacred assembly and present an offering made by fire to the Lord. It is a solemn assembly. You must not do any regular work. It seems like he keeps having to repeat himself, right? Man, I do that quite a bit. These are the Lord's appointed feasts, or appointed times. 37. These are the Lord's. These are the Lord's. These are the Lord's. These are the Lord's. I can't stress that enough, y'all. These are the Lord's. These are not ours. These are the Lord's. These are not the Jews. These are the Lord's. These are the Lord's. These are the Lord's appointed feasts. These are Yah's appointed feasts. These are our Creator's appointed times. They're His. Moedim. They're His. Which you are to proclaim as sacred assemblies before for presenting offerings by fire to the Lord, burnt offerings and grain offerings and sacrifices and drink offerings, and each on its designated day. These offerings are in addition to the offerings of the Lord's Sabbaths. They're in addition to the Lord's Sabbaths, okay? And in addition to your gifts, to all your vow offerings, and to your free will offerings you give to the Lord. Continue on. I was using my mouse, my finger, because I'm on my phone. All right. So, I'm gonna I'll continue to read verse 39. On the 15th day of the 7th month, after you have gathered the produce of the land, you are to celebrate a feast to the Lord for 7 days. Again, this is the same feast. It's the Feast of Tabernacles. There shall be complete rest on the first day and also on the 8th day. Now he said 7, but he added an 8th here. Wonder why there. There's significance there, but it's interesting, right? He said for 7 days, but then there's also something on the 8th day, which is pretty interesting, right? On the first day you are to gather the fruit of majestic trees, the branches of palm trees, and the boughs of leafy trees, and of willows of the brook. And you are to rejoice before the Lord your God for how many days? 7. For 7 days. It's for 7 days in the 7th month. I think that's pretty interesting too, right? How many days of creation? 7. I think there's a plan. I think there's a pattern here, huh? I think the Lord knows what He's doing. For 7 days, verse 41. You are to celebrate this as a feast to the Lord for 7 days each year. Man, he's really laying this down, isn't he? This is a permanent statute for the generations to come. You are to celebrate it in the 7th month. Here you go, verse 42. You are to dwell in booths for 7 days. All the native-born Israel must dwell in booths, right? Must dwell in booths so that your descendants may know that I made the Israelites dwell in booths when I brought them out of the land of Egypt. I am the Lord your God. So Moses announced to the Israelites the appointed feasts of the Lord. There's a lot of conjecture. What's up, Alex? Love you too, bro. Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on and saying what's up. Again, there can be a lot of conjecture, a lot of differences and opinions and different things. And again, I can't stress this enough. I am learning. I am learning. I am learning. I am learning. I am not going to sit here and claim that I know all the answers or that I have all the answers. All I know is what the Lord has shown to me, and the fruit of following Him in His way, and setting apart the times that He called set apart. And what's the phrase that I'm trying to think of? I desire to be a child of God. I desire to know Him. I desire to try to understand Him, if that makes sense, and understand the things that He has for me, for us, for His people. And holy. What is holy? That word holy, being set apart, being sacred. And I believe that there are some things that we need to get straightened out. Again, there's so much confusion. The word says, God is not the author of confusion, and if we are confused, that is not His will. I believe that He's made it. It's the only thing that keeps us from wanting to, the Bible says that the flesh is at war with the spirit. Our flesh is at war with wanting to do the things um, that are holy, and that are holy and set apart to God. Our flesh doesn't want to do that. This flesh, this body that we're in, and oddly enough, right? The word says that, know you not that your body is the temple. And you look up that word, temple can also mean temporary dwelling place. So it can also mean a sukkah, a temporary dwelling place. And yet he says he will abide. He wants to live with us. John, I want to say it was in John, the first chapter. Didn't he say that in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God? Um, um, you know, you go down. Let's see. I can't remember where exactly it was, but let's see. Oh well, I just put it. Through him all things were made, and I was like um, and it says that the word was made flesh and dwelt among us. Some translations say it that the word became flesh and has made his dwelling among us. That's John 1:14. If you look up and try and search out what those words and that meaning behind dwelling, it became flesh. It became a temporary dwelling place. We know that this life is temporary. We know this life is short. It's but a vapor. It's here for a moment. It's gone in an instant. We know that this body is going to return to the dust. It is temporary. But yet while it is temporary, he desires to dwell with us in this season. And this life in itself can be considered a season in and of itself. How many people have lived, have come and gone before we even took a breath in this life? It doesn't mean that it's meaningless or pointless, but it means that if he desires to make his abode with us, he desires to dwell within us. And Paul even says, that this body is a temple. If it is a temple or a sukkah or a tabernacle, a temporary dwelling place in this wilderness of life, and he wants to dwell with us and reveal himself to us and know us in an intimate way, and yet he's set these times in place, one of which that we get to experience weekly. The seventh day. What was the seventh day of creation? The seventh day of creation was a day of rest. Yeshua says that the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath, right? But who made it for us? Yah did. Yah made it for us. He made it for us. It is a time that says, look, I know you're working hard, but this time, for this reason, I want you to rest. I want you to rest with me. I want you to commune with me. Being out here in this sukkah with you on here, and being out here in, and listening to nature, listening to cars drive by, and it's getting a little chilly out here. This is beautiful to me. It's meaningful to me, because I believe that it is meaningful to him. It is to point us to something that is to come. It's not just to be a remembrance. It's not only to be for a remembrance of what he did for the children of Israel coming out of Egypt, but we as believers, we say that he's brought us out of Egypt, the bondage, the type of slavery, that he's brought us out of it, and we take ownership, and we weigh it out, and we're like, yeah, he did that for me like he did for the children of Israel. And then, but we separate it because that was for them, and that happened in the physical, but yet supernatural things happened, and we know that those things were a shadow of what was to come. But does that take away from the importance of what they did and what they went through then, just because it was a shadow? Like Paul says, where is that? The substances of Christ. But we know it's just a shadow. Let me see. I need to change this version, because this version, I'll even do New King James Version. Let me see. Right here. Check this out. Paul said this. And a lot of people, we get Paul confused so much, and it's crazy to me. We act like we know better than Paul, yet we don't have his lens. We don't have his perspective. We don't have his understanding. He tries to share it with us, but even we get it messed up, too often. But he says, Colossians 2 verse 16 says, "Let no one judge you in respect of," right? In regarding food, let no one judge you in food or drink, in regarding or respect of a festival or a new moon or Sabbaths. Listen to this, verse 17, "which are a shadow of things to come, but the substance is of Christ." I'm just going to stop right there real quick, because honestly, he said, let no one judge you in food or drink. Let no one judge you or regarding, in respect of a festival or a new moon or Sabbaths, which are a shadow of things to come. People will say that. See, look, they're just a shadow. They're just a shadow. They don't mean anything. That's not true. We will use Old Testament scriptures when it's convenient for us. Jeremiah 29:11. We'll use that one, man. That one's for me. But have you read Jeremiah 28? Jeremiah 26? You know what I mean? We'll use it too when it's an advantage for us, when it's a benefit to us. There are blessings and there are cursings. There are benefits and there's not good things. So easy for us to want the good things, but not understand that we are just as susceptible to receiving the other end of it. That can be taken so many different ways, and I know it might not settle well, but that's all right. Take it up with the Lord. Take it up with Him. You take it up with Him. What does He say right here? Which are a shadow of things to come, but He says the substance is of Christ. What substance? What substance? So let no one judge you in food or drink. Colossians 2:16 and 17. Let no one judge you in food or drink, in regarding and respect of a festival or a new moon or Sabbaths, plural, not just the weekly ones. The Sabbaths, appointed times, which are a shadow of things to come, but the substance is of Christ. It's like, for instance, you have a shadow. My sukkah is casting a shadow on the ground. I see it's making a shadow, but where's the substance? It's in the real thing. This is substance. But it's casting a shadow. My head right here is casting a shadow on the sheet behind me. Does that mean that the substance is not real? Nah. Does it mean the substance isn't important? No. As a matter of fact, the substance is more important than the shadow, but that doesn't negate that there's a shadow being casted. But again, the substance is not in the shadow. The substance is what's casting the shadow. Oh man, come on, somebody. The substance is of Christ. The things that were there before pointed us to Messiah. That doesn't mean the things that were there before are now gone. We've just forgotten. And he's told the people, I want you to understand these things. We want you to see it. What does verse 18 say? Colossians 2, 16, 17, 18. 16. Let no one judge you in food or drink or regarding a festival or a new moon or Sabbaths, which are a shadow of things to come, but the substance of those things is of Christ. It is of a Messiah. So there is value and there is substance to following and trying to understand the appointed times that Yah has put in place for his people to be set apart from the nations. His people, his house, his way. He says, in the prophets, he says, my ways, your ways are not my ways. Your thoughts are not my thoughts. For my thoughts are higher than your thoughts, and my ways are higher than your ways. We've got counterfeit ideas of what all of these things, and we've got preferences and all these other stuff for alternatives, artificial flavorings and artificial and alternative options for all these different things. But look at what Paul says here in verse 18. Let no one cheat you of your reward, taking delight in false humility and worship of angels, intruding into those things which he has not seen, vainly puffed up by his fleshly mind, and not holding fast to the head, from whom all the body, nourished and knit together by joints and ligaments, grows with the increase that is from God. Come on now. Come on now. There's value. More value than we can ever understand. That we could ever understand. Now, Paul was not in contradiction to our Messiah. And our Messiah was not in contradiction to the Word, as if that's separate, which we know it's not. He is the Word. He is the Word. So if he is the Word, as John put it, in the beginning, where is that? Bereshit, Genesis. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God, and the same was in the beginning with God. Go down a little bit further, what does it say? And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us. We obviously know that what John is talking about is Messiah. I mean, Lord have mercy. There's so much value to not only trying to understand and walk in the foundation that we just don't know. We don't really know because we aren't raised to believe and think in that way. We're raised in a different time, different language, different culture, and it's okay. It is okay. However, it is time. I believe that it's time where that the Lord is not only revealing things to us, but it's also in a way that says, guess what? Need you to revisit the foundations. My desires to know the Lord and try to understand truth and try to understand the ways of God and try to understand where the things are and the things aren't. And, I see all the different counterfeits and I see all the wrong of all this and that. And I'm tired of all that, man. I'm tired of all that. I really want to know God his way. And I want to be able to share with people, whether you choose to or not, whether you agree or disagree, it's okay. It's absolutely okay. But there's value in these things, and if he said that there's not only value, but it's important to him, I believe it is important for us, children of God, house of God, house of Israel. He calls his people Israel. It's the people. It's the people. If you believe in the Messiah, you're being called. You're like we're like the virgins. Are we going to be the five wise, or are we going to be part of the five foolish? Are we going to hear the call and not have prepared ourselves, or are we going to want to, when we know he's coming, It's like everybody, we all know he's coming. We all know time is running short, time is running out. And there's so much confusion and so much chaos and so much deception and just so much, all kinds of other stuff. It's like, he's starting to get us back to this point. I believe it. Like, listen, hey, let's go back. Let's go back to the foundation. Let's try to get an understanding of how to walk it in practicality, not just a mental ascent into a higher level of thinking. That's not it. That's not it. But there's value and there is substance to these things of understanding. Not that these things bring us any type of righteousness. Literally. We know that this does not bring my fleshly body, persona, anything, any type of righteousness. I have no righteousness. I don't care how good I can make my sukkah look. I don't care how good my tzitzits look. I don't care if I don't trim the beard. I don't care if I do trim the beard. I don't care. No matter how good you think you can get it, you won't. It won't. It's not about that. There is a deeper matter at stake, and that is of the soul. That is of the soul. Man. Praise Yah. Hallelujah. So yeah. Hopefully in the near future, be doing more of these, lives, and as Yah continues to open up understanding, and helps me be able to share where I'm at now, where I can continue to be where I'm at now. I'm looking forward to what he wants me to be in the future, where he wants me to be. That's all up to him. But I want to be able to share it with whoever wants to listen, whoever wants to. Whatever. But I know I'm not the only one. I know that there are people out there who truly desire to know and to see, and to be the house of Israel, to be his chosen bride. And man, there's so much greatness, there's so much goodness. I'm so grateful and thankful for everything that he's done, everything he's doing. I don't care how vague and how cliche that sounds. I'm so grateful and thankful. We can do it, and we aren't meant to do it alone. We aren't meant to be alone. We aren't meant to walk alone. And he wants you to know that you are not alone. We can do it together. We can, with compassion, with grace, with mercy. We are adopted into his house, so we are adopted children. We've been adopted in a different age. We weren't born and raised into it. We've been adopted into it at a different age, where we're going to have to go back to preschool on some matters, on some milk, as Paul put it, milk. Can't teach us the deeper things because we're so caught up in trying to figure out the meat. We ain't got teeth to chew on the meat yet, because we ain't even had the milk, man. The milk is in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. Jesus said, man, y'all be talking to the Pharisees. He said, y'all be talking about Moses all the time, man, but you don't even believe the words of Moses. Because how are you going to believe Moses, and you don't even believe me? But Moses spoke about me. He wrote of me. I'm like, man, he said Moses wrote about him. Hang on a second. You mean, what did Moses write? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy. He wrote that? Lord have mercy. Hey, I'm telling you, Sister Tina, keep sharing. Yes, keep sharing. It is good to know I'm not the only one who is looking deeper into the feast and Torah. Hey, yeah, I know I'm not the only one. And guess what, sis? I know you ain't the only one. That's just the facts. We're all learning. And Yah willing, we're going to learn together. You know, I ain't all up into the whole sacred namer things and the traditions and all these kind of other things. But I know that eventually, when our heart is to walk after Him, and we take His word and say, okay, I can apply this, I can apply this, I can apply this, I can apply this, I can try, I can try, I can practice, I can try. That's what He wants us to do. He's going to work out the rest of it. I ain't gonna be no Torah Nazi either. I don't care about that. Believe it. I mean, what does that even mean? I don't even know. But it is what it is. It's like, the Lord said to do this. Well, you can't tell me what to do. I didn't say nothing. Well, like Cain and Abel was the same problem, right? Here Cain is doing his thing, Abel's over here doing his thing, Abel's over there, he got his sacrifice going up, and it's a sweet smell and savor unto the Lord, and Cain's over here going like, I'm gonna try it like this time. And he's doing his thing, and it's like, and God doesn't accept it. And he gets mad at his brother. Like, why do you get mad at your brother for? He was the one who chose not to do it right. And God comes to him and he said, hey, Cain, why are you mad? Why are you mad? Why is your countenance fallen? Was he asking him a question because he truly didn't know? No. He was trying to get Cain to think about it. Cain, think about this. You know that if you do well, you will be accepted. And if you don't do well, sin lies at the door and its desire is for you, but you should rule over it, Cain. Think about, why are you angry? He didn't tell him, no, Cain, don't be angry. He's saying, think about this for a second. You know that if you do well, you will be accepted. That means he already had prior knowledge. That means he had already done it, because he had firsthand knowledge that his sacrifice would have been accepted if he had done it the right way. But then he doesn't say if you don't do well, you won't be accepted. That's the crazy part. He said, sin lies at the door and its desire is for you, but you should rule over it. That's the crazy part to me. That was back in Genesis, man. That was the first brothers. That was the first brothers of mankind. That was basically like God's grandchildren. First grandchildren. That's the crazy thing. It's like Cain's looking at his brother, and his brother's doing it right. Cain's sacrifice was rejected, and he gets mad at his brother. What? We gotta stop doing that. We do. I'm included in that. Believe me, I'm included in that. So it's like this. Hey, God's given us an opportunity. Are you mad at the person who's saying something? I don't even think Abel said a word to his brother. I just think that he realized what it was, and he didn't like the way that he felt, knowing that he didn't do it right. And he took it out on his brother instead of taking personal responsibility and accountability and consequence for his own actions. I don't doubt that whatsoever. I don't. But here's what I do know. It's what I'm trying to understand. His ways are greater and higher than mine, and his thoughts are higher than mine. And I do desire to walk as he walked. I don't care how many times people can tell me, you'll never do it! He didn't say I couldn't try. As a matter of fact, he said, if anyone desires to come after me, he said, let him. He didn't say force him. He said, let him deny himself. Take up his cross. Hey, and check this out. I love you too, Ma. Thank you for watching. He said, check this out. You know what? That word cross means multiple things in Hebrew. The cross, tav, right? There's another word. It's also used as a stake in Greek. A stake. Like, a stake that you would use to stake down a tent, like aka a sukkah, aka a temporary dwelling place. Take up your stake, the thing that you would put down to make sure that you are established for a period of time. Take up your stake, pick up your tent, and follow me. Not taken away from the fact that it also could mean the literal cross and the sacrifice of self. Don't deny that part either. Not saying it's one or the other. Maybe it could be multiple things. Take up your understanding. Get out of your way and come follow me. That means we might have to move some things around a little bit. We might have to leave our own home. For whoever doesn't forsake his mother or father, or sister or brother, whoever doesn't hate, might be a very strong word, but there's meaning behind that too. We'll get into that later. But whoever doesn't cannot be my disciples. You know, there's so many instances of this that goes all the way back, so far back to the Torah. Abraham. Abraham, man, brought him. Abraham wasn't Jewish, by the way. I'm just saying. It's no accident you, Reese, Wani, Michael, and me, and Andrew cross paths. Grateful to you all in this journey and to go closer to Messiah. Amen. Absolutely, 100%. I'm in full agreement. Again, I'm not going to sit here and say that I know all the answers and I have all the information, because I know less today than I feel like I've ever known in my life. But I do desire to walk, and whatever that comes with, it's because it's his design, not mine. It's his will, not my will. So I'm just gonna continue to move, allow y'all to move through whatever that means. I don't know exactly, but it's not my job to try and figure it all out, except keep searching for him and keep trying to walk. That's all. So, man, thank you guys for hearing me kind of just spill it out a little bit. I'm sure there's going to be a little bit more structure as I go forward, but I'm going to take it one step at a time. And the Lord is putting people in our paths, like Tina, like you said. There's things that I'm going to be able to share in the near future. God willing, he is bringing more of us people together. He's bringing more people who desire to know the ways of Yah and his path and his times and his seasons, and help us to know the walk in a better way, his way. And that's what we all want, is to be pleasing to him, and not be conformed to this world that we've been born into, but be transformed by the renewing of our minds, so that we can prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of Yah, man. I'm telling you right now. But there's going to be more. I promise. We're going to get together. We are going to have some, invited gatherings. I'll make sure to put it out there. You just do kind of have to be careful sometimes, and I understand that. And it's not that I desire to be. I know the Lord was selective. He went out and selected his disciples. They didn't choose him; he chose them. We didn't choose God; we didn't want him, but he chose us. I do believe that we do need to be careful. We do need to, be wise as serpents, but harmless as doves. So as we move forward, and as the Lord keeps doing this and revealing these things, and opening up our eyes and our understanding, and keeps just overshadowing us with his peace, with his shalom that surpasses all understanding, he will absolutely make a way for us to love one another as he loves us, and do it his way. Man, God, so good. So good. So this is a temporary dwelling that I'm out here, and I think my time is just about up. You know what I'm saying? I think it's about time to go inside. But yeah, I'll stay on here for a couple more minutes if anybody wants to chime in and ask a question, make a statement, um, conversate for a few more minutes, whatever. I'll be more than happy to. If I don't know a question, if I don't know an answer to a question, I'll be more than happy to say I don't know. I can you know can help try to figure it out if I don't understand it, if I don't know it. Believe me, there's a lot that I don't know. I ain't like again, I can't stress it enough. I ain't up here trying to think I know it, got it all figured out, and I knew some things have been missing. And I believe I'm on the right path. Y'all's got me on this path for that reason, is to help narrow narrow that path down. And he's doing that. I'm not doing that. So no. Anybody wanna say anything? Communicate, share, feel free. There's probably some things I did want to say, but I really didn't have a whole huge giant plan. I just want to be like, hey man, try to do my best with no more generalities. I don't do a very good job with that. I want to be able to get to the point, but again, I want to be careful with it, and I want to be wise with it, and I'm not always, definitely for sure, not always wise in my decisions and my words. So I want to help best way I can. Sometimes all you can do is just be there. Sometimes all you can do is just listen. No. And here I am only just talking, But I've sat out here and just listened. Just dwell. No agenda. No just thinking. Just thinking about the goodness. And I look at the scriptures and I see it so much more. I take it so much more internally, as though he's talking to me. The good and the bad. Not just all the good. Don't always feel good either, man. A lot of times it hurts. It hurts to be confronted with different words, and like, man, that's you. And it's not always negative. Not always negative. There's so much good in even what we would call the negative, in the trials. Mental battleground of the mind, battleground of the heart, the battleground of the unseen, the things that go on in our minds that we struggle with all the time. And there's so much of that it can bring us off focus. But I said, don't forsake the assembling together of yourselves first. And as often as you do this, do it in remembrance of me. And these times especially are for that. Appointed times weekly, appointed times yearly. And then he said, as often as you do this. That was during that was right around unleavened bread, Pesach. It was right around that. Literally right before. Man, so much beautiful language of just the wedding ceremony happening, man. These times are just so beautiful. All of them, all throughout the year, they have such beautiful depth to them. And we only get the Matrix version. We only get the shadow picture version for now. For now. But there's coming a day. There is coming a day in which He will reconcile us all. He will gather us from all the four corners of the earth. That He will establish His New Jerusalem on this earth. That He will wipe out all the enemies. That He will wipe every tear from our eyes. That the waiting will be over. The waiting will be over. But he says, until then, hold on. To him who overcomes, I will grant for him to sit on my throne with me, as I also came and sat down on my Father's throne. The overcomer. The overcomer. I don't think it's just one thing in this life. I believe that it's life itself. And to overcome doesn't even necessarily mean that you beat something. It can mean that you've lasted until the end. He who endures till the end, till there's nothing left, all you can do is just stand. You take all of this stuff away. We can say that we would die for him. We could be just like Peter, but are we really? I think that we're so far removed. I don't think that we truly understand what that even means. To really give up of ourselves. I wrestle with this all the time. Do I really even understand what it truly means to give up of myself for him? I don't think I do. But I'm learning. I'm growing. My children are learning and they're growing. They're trying to understand. Watch out. Good night, Bubba. Love you. Oh, look at this guy. He's gonna come out here and even tell me good night. It's not even really that cold, huh?
It's not.
But yeah, it's good. It's my firstborn son. This is my Jaden, son of my right hand. Jaden Benjamin. That's what that means, right? I know you're left-handed, but
That's what Benjamin.
Yeah, son of my right hand. Yeah. Love you, bub. Good night. Oh, I'm about to jump off here. Oh yeah, Tina said quit growing. Tina said quit growing. He said love you, Tina. That's cute. Started laughing. He's super buff. A lot of this too is for them. I've often felt like too. I'm late to the party. I'm late to the show. I'm late to the walk. I'm late. You already know, man. I feel like I'm late of everything. I feel like I'm behind. I'm just slow. I'm slow to learn. I'm slow to get it. I'm slow, man. I'm late, behind schedule. It's like I feel like this, but maybe I'm just I know it's his time. Like he's on time. He's right on time. Hey, what's up, Tyler? How you doing, brother? I'm gonna send you a message. Don't worry about it, brother. I did get your message. It's like right at the time I was getting up on here. Um. So yeah, I know, man. I'm always late. I'm always behind. I'm always uh feel like I always have to play catch up. And I think it gives me a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, and adds all kinds of other things. You're good, bro. Don't worry about that, man. But I'm gonna send you a message as soon as I get off here. It's all good. I appreciate you too, Tyler. By the way, man, I saw a review from a while back when I first opened the barbershop, and you gave me a review. That was amazing. Long time ago. But yeah, man, I feel like that. Late to the party, late to the show, late to the understanding, late to the. I'm so late, behind, and all that. But I know who isn't. I know who isn't. I get impatient with myself. I get overwhelmed with myself. That's a lot of things that cause me a lot of internal anguish. Is feeling like I'm always late, behind, slow, all the above. But Well, again, thank you guys for being on here with me. Thank you for hearing me ramble. God is outside of time. That's us putting that pressure on. You're right. He can make it as if it never was. But you know that. Yes, sir. I do. I think that's the hard part. You know, as we all, I'm pretty sure know that we get impatient. Yeah. Again, man, that's one of my struggles. Is I just feel like I'm behind the eight ball all the time. I don't even know what that means, behind the eight ball. Is that a pagan thing? Anyway, doesn't matter. I just feel like I'm always behind. That's a figure of speech. It doesn't matter. I just feel like I'm late. You know, it's okay. But I am gonna try. I am. I feel like I can be a better dad. I feel like I can be a better husband. I feel like I could be a better business owner. I feel like I could be a better barber. I feel like I could be a better. Yes, I feel like I could do better, man. I just prayed for God to redeem the last hour and a half. Seriously, though, we did. Really? Is everything good? Last hour and a half. Lord, look at that. See? You just saying that because you was late to the party? Anyway. Oh, Lord. Mm. So many flaws. So many things, man. But, you know, not all pointless. It's not all meaningless. It is just temporary. That's all. Take it later, bro. Your message, yeah. I will, bro. I'm about to hop off here right now anyway. So, yeah. My desire is to please him and move. Just keep moving. Just keep moving forward. Trying to understand that. Trying to help. You know, hey, we'll get it. Might not get it right now, but eventually he's gonna finish that work that he began in us, and he is faithful. He is faithful to complete that work that he began. So my flaws are not what I look forward to. My shortcomings are not what I focus on. It is the fact that one day it will all be over. It will all be done. His will be completed. His work will be finished in me. And that's what I pray for. That is what I believe in. That's what my hope is in. Even though I will deal with these things now, I will deal with these things in my mental, I will deal with these things in my emotion, I will deal with these things in my spirit. I will fight and it will conflict and it won't work. And it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Remind myself. You remind me. I'll remind you that I need to remind me, and I'll remind you, and we'll remind each other. We'll remember, because he said to do these things so that you do remember. There's a plan that's coming that's going to be finished one day, and when it is, you're going to know. Praise Yah. All right, it's time for me to get off, y'all. I love you guys, and I'm planning on doing a lot more. Maybe when I don't have as much homework to do that I probably should be doing. See? Procrastinator and a half. Is there any procrastinators in the Bible? Can somebody help me out? Maybe you can read what happened with them. Maybe that's a foreshadow or something. I don't know. Give me a picture. Maybe Peter. Maybe no. I don't know. Maybe not. Anyway, all right, y'all. Hey, y'all have a good night and a good rest of your week. I may go live this Shabbat, and we can kind of talk about some things. Maybe be in the practicality, be in the moment, not just be in a ramble stage. But you already know how I get sometimes, so maybe we'll talk about it soon. Anyway, you know, keep that eye out just in case you see it and you want to join up here and just listen to my rambling and maybe even figure out that I got a whole bunch of things that I'm a heretic or something. I got a lot of heresies going on, you know. Anyway, love y'all. Praying for y'all. You know what? I'm gonna try this. May I bless you. May He keep you. May He turn His face upon you. Something about the Abrahamic blessing I'd like to try to get out. Hey, but yeah, shalom. You know what I mean? Keep the faith, and maybe one day I'll get it right. May He keep you. May He guard you. May He protect you. May He turn His face upon you. I don't know. There's more to it. I just don't. We're gonna get it. I promise. All right, y'all. Hey, have a good night. Good rest of your week. And keep your eyes peeled. You know what I mean? Lord's showing us some things. Amen.